makes total sense that we'd have to think about the nature of reality in that way, and then like you, yeah, maybe fall into that cul-de-sac or dead end where you think to yourself, well, now all I'm stuck with is justifying whether I should commit suicide logically or not. So I would imagine that other people wouldn't have been led down that road just because of the way that they think or their personality types, where
Oh,
they would
yeah.
deal
Yeah.
with things in a different way.
I don't just mean with respect to suicidality, though. I mean more generally as a theoretical principle or principle of investigation that I've noticed that a lot of the time, what ends up furnishing an individual with evidence in favor of some phenomenon that they think is not likely or something like that is often actually rigidifying the stance that they already implicitly take, making it more explicit, making a conviction that then becomes the basis of like a sincere attempt to evaluate all the evidence, and then that sincere attempt to evaluate the evidence changes their mind.
Yeah, well, that's what I appreciate about people like ourselves, if I'm gonna blow my own horn here, but because I think other people would just be willing to accept whatever feels good to them and then move on
Mm-hmm.
and live their lives, right? Whereas,
Mm-hmm.
we're so sincere that we actually have to. We've been led into creating an entire theory for ourselves. So it kind of leads me back to the initial question because I do want to get a bit more substance out of it. You said that you were a programmer, or that you are a programmer initially.
I studied computer science and programming
Just
for 2.5 years.
I see. And so was it this experience of falling into depression and everything, really the only source or motivation that led you to metaphysics, or was there another interest in metaphysics somehow?
That's the thing is, I didn't know it was metaphysics until long after. Like, I never picked up a book of philosophy until after I'd already, probably 6 months or something after I'd already fully formalized the idea. So it wasn't, I didn't even have a name for it. It was just something I was doing. And it was something I was doing because it was related to this existential dilemma. I'd started the task in relation to the existential dilemma, and then at a certain point it transformed because I started getting somewhere, and that was really exciting. And actually, it turns out I have kind of a talent for philosophy, specifically dialogue, like question and answer with someone else who's really smart. I really know how to get somewhere. I've got a thing with questions. I'm very good at finding the correct questions that in some sense, make the answer just fall out of them. Yeah, so like, what it definitely wasn't any kind of like interest in that respect, because I didn't even know what metaphysics was, and I certainly didn't have any interest in philosophy. It was just something I did. Yeah, I didn't understand what it was that I was doing. It was just something that I was doing.